It's Cinemassacre's Monster Madness. Screams not on screen. This year, Monster Madness has a special theme, and with it, an updated logo. To celebrate, we've got 3 new shirts, the red logo tee, available anytime, plus 2 limited Halloween editions, an orange logo on black, and a full orange shirt that's perfect for a Halloween party or roadside construction safety. Grab them now before these Halloween drops disappear forever. Today, I want to talk about Halloween costumes. This is such a fun tradition. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved that this one day of the year, I could be somebody who I'm not. It's a notion that's transcended into performing on camera and being a character. It's funny how the tradition didn't start as a way to have fun, but to ward off evil spirits. At least that's what they say. It dates back to the old Celtic festival of Samhain. I always thought it's weird how it's spelled Samhain, but pronounced Samhain. Anyway, they believed during that time of year, when the winter was approaching, the boundary between the living and the dead would become blurred. So they'd wear these costumes as a disguise from the spirits. It's hard to imagine what it must have been like to live in those times. You couldn't just go to the nearest Halloween store. Your costume would have to be something you'd make out of animal skin or some kind of sack, which was probably also made out of animal skin. You can bet nobody was dressed as a pirate or a clown or whatever. This modern tradition has evolved, and Halloween trick-or-treating only became a thing in the early 1900s, gaining traction throughout the decades. As time went on, it became more of a business. In the late 30s all the way to the 80s, the Ben Cooper Company was making Halloween masks. They were cheap plastic and had everything from superheroes, Disney characters, and presidents. The funny thing is they came with costumes which would be nothing more than a shirt or some kind of smock with the character printed on it. Even though it's laughable, there was also something kind of creepy about them. The image of children looking up at you as you open the door, staring through those plastic eye holes, was rather unsettling. So, for many reasons, these Ben Cooper costumes have become quite iconic. Anytime you see a movie that depicts trick-or-treating in the old days, you're bound to see them. There is another brand of masks by Don Post Studios. I've actually heard more about these, especially the famous Captain Kirk mask, which John Carpenter used for the original Halloween. Don Post Studios had the official license to make Universal monster masks in the 60s. They also made the famous Tor Johnson mask, which they say was the best-selling mask of all time. It's even referenced at the end of the film Ed Wood. In a nutshell, Don Post took consumer masks to a new level. Instead of cheap plastic that only covered the front of your face, they were fully designed heads that were made from real molds of the actors' faces, so they had a much more lifelike appearance. Even in my lifetime, I've seen costumes evolve. Back then, high-quality costumes were not common to find. You had to be creative and make your own. One year I was a shark, and I remember my mom had it custom made by stitching all this fabric together. I can't remember if she hired somebody or did it herself, but I loved it. Then there's me as a skeleton, holding a skull on a stick, which made no sense, but all I wanted to do was run into the camera with it. So even then, I saw the camera as a thing to perform at, like we're making a movie. I remember one year, back in the 80s, I went as Jason Voorhees, and I got this glow-in-the-dark hockey mask, which was really cool. I never had a glow-in-the-dark mask till then. I was too young to even see the Friday the 13th movies, but I at least knew the character, probably thanks to the shitty NES game. I didn't have any images or footage, but I still have the mask and even wore it on stage with my band, Rex Viper. Not out of nostalgia, but because I lost my other glow-in-the-dark one, and I brought my own UV lights on stage, but the masks still didn't glow as I hoped. It's kind of funny that I lost my new mask, but I still have my old one from the 80s. It's the same concept as remembering something from long ago when you can't remember what just happened yesterday. As a kid, I thought costumes should be scary. I mean, isn't that what Halloween is all about? So when I'd see another kid going as a police officer or something normal, I would question it. But then I went as Dick Tracy 2 years in a row, so I came to accept that Halloween is really all about being whoever, whatever you want. The year of Jurassic Park, the local Halloween store had a velociraptor mask, which blew my mind. It was a full latex head and claws. So no question about it, that was my costume that year. And it was just a head and claws, so I guess I was Raptor Man. I ended up using that for many of my home movies. Over the years, I've been Batman, Rob Zombie, Hunter S. Thompson, Louis Tully, Mark Borchardt, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's, and Ernest P. Worrell. The way I choose costumes has changed as I've gone through many seasons of life. In school, it was all about what you want to wear around all your classmates, and Halloween was the one day of the year when I loved going to school because it was like a party where nobody was who they normally were. In my teen years, I remember that kind of thing slowly phasing out as I eventually stopped trick-or-treating. But in my college years, the party aspect became bigger than ever. So when it came to the decision of what to wear, I stopped wearing masks as often because, hey, it's pretty hard to drink beer and socialize while wearing a mask. And then in my recent years as a parent, it's more about passing on the tradition to my children. And let me tell you, going trick-or-treating again has been a major nostalgic wave. It's kind of weird reliving that and having gone full circle. As you can imagine, I've accumulated a lot of costumes over the years. I figured this would be fun to show you where I keep them. It's a small space, but it looks like a costume shop. It's not really because of nostalgia like my video store room, but more out of necessity because I often need to use costumes in my videos and it gets hard to find them, so I hung them all up where I can see. Some of these are from videos you might have seen, and others are just personal or family occasions. For example, every once in a while, Bugs Bunny shows up, so we had to get another Bugs Bunny costume to keep handy. It's convenient anytime I'm able to stuff a costume back into its store packaging and hang it. That means I can find it easily. But other times I have to hang them from clothing hangers. I keep them inside these plastic covers because, I don't know, keeps them safe, I guess. Here's all my old nerd shirts. This one has Gwar blood on it, which is awesome. That was when Gwar killed me on stage. As you can see, there's lots of stuff here, but there's more. These shelves have wheels so I can roll them away, and behind there's just a bunch of boxes and props and accessories that I've used over the years. Over here, there's a bunch of hats I've worn, and here's my newest dummy. You know I always need a dummy. There's a bunch of other crap in here, but that's the gist as far as costumes are concerned. But let's go to the real Halloween shop and see what they got this year. Well, here I am at Spirit Halloween, a tradition every year, checking out all the costumes. They have a lot of masks as usual. Lots of werewolves and animals and bloody creatures. These could be pretty terrifying, I imagine, if you see them in the dark coming at you. Here's a wall of various screen icons. They have the Halloween Ends mask there. That is one good thing I can say about that movie. The mask is kind of cool. And then we have a section of Ghostbusters costumes. It's kind of funny how the cheesy kind of costume is back, or maybe it's been back all along. But you have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I've seen Stay Puft before as an inflatable, but seeing it here where it's just your regular face showing through is pretty funny. And then you could be the Ecto-1. Yes, imagine going as the Ecto-1. I mean, it's real stupid, but it is cool how you could have a sense of humor with these type of costumes still. The Slimer one, obviously. I have a little bit of a hard time knowing that you are Slimer. They have the Ghost Trap and the Proton Packs. Now that's really cool because when I was a kid, you didn't have anything like that. It was just these cheap plastic with stickers on it. It was nothing, but these look more like the movie. Okay, and then we have a Gremlins inflatable. That kind of stuck out to me. So you can go as Gizmo. That's pretty cool. Then you have a lot of the slasher icons. You have Freddy Krueger and Chucky here. Always cool to see the official masks being available. And I haven't seen these before. A bunch of South Park masks. Now that's really cool. You could dress up, go around like a walking cartoon. I wonder how well you can see through the eyes. Then Teletubbies. I did not expect to see Teletubbies. Is Teletubbies making a comeback of some kind? Huh, I can only wonder. Bob Ross and Garfield, very cool. Well, there's that sparkling skull they have every year. I never knew what to make of that, but it's pretty cool. I mean, if you put that under certain lighting, I bet it would reflect. I mean, that would look pretty cool. disco skull. And then one of the dumber ones. Now, okay, look, I know it's a toddler costume, and this is for a little kid, but look at that mask. I mean, come on, that doesn't look like Michael Myers. That looks awful. To sum things up, costumes help us explore our own imagination, to pretend to be someone else, to maybe get a laugh, a conversation starter, and bring us all together. And that helps make this such a special time of year. So leave a comment and share some of your favorite costume memories. And what's your best costume you've seen this year so far?